Well, those old black and white photographs tell the story of the Great War, including from the perspective of Canadians on the front lines. In fact, the First World War was the first time photography became part of the battle. A new exhibit in Ottawa is now bringing together the work of Canadian war photographers from that period. And as Mike LeCouture found out, they're a poignant reminder of the sacrifices our soldiers made on the battlefield.
What a way to fight a war.
Lieutenant Commander Chris Phillips takes a stroll back in time, back to when war photography was in its infancy.
It triggers all of those memories, all of those sensory memories of what it was like to be in an environment like this. Burned out, destroyed buildings, roads that are completely messed up.
Phillips was in those types of environments countless times for the Canadian Forces, taking the same types of pictures. Now he runs the military unit known as Combat Camera. The men who snapped these frames nearly a century ago were the first official military photographers, essentially Phillips's forefathers.
It's about capturing tomorrow's history today. It's about making sure that future generations know what their military was doing on their behalf overseas.
Opening this weekend at the National Gallery in Ottawa, this exhibit celebrates the centennial of the Great War and a period where war photography really exploded. The photos had been used in previous wars, but never on this scale, from regimental portraits to aerial shots used by bombers.
The explosions are probably what has been added.
Even though these frames were snapped nearly a century ago, some feature the first uses of Photoshop, or composite photography as it was known. Technology at the time allowed them to combine negatives when they felt the originals didn't properly capture the scene.
You've done all this, you've taken your photographs, you get it back to the darkroom, you look at it, and you've got a picture of one soldier who seems to be standing there, and you're kind of disappointed.
Photography brought the public to the front lines, helping them to understand the war and garner support for it, something governments were keenly aware of.
It was also a war that required a lot of buy-in, a lot of from the public, in order that you'd be able to mobilize enough troops.
But mostly, the photos were to document history, a history Phillips is proud to be a part of.
Words cannot do justice to the actions that are done by the men and women in uniform, on behalf of all Canadians.
But sometimes a picture can. Mike LeCouture, Global News, Ottawa.